Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Leese. Today we're taking a look at the box office numbers and movie news from around the industry. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Pondex, for sponsoring this episode. You can check them out today at pondex.com. Use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your purchase. And if you want to see Pondex in action, you can check out a video right over here that we released a few weeks ago. And in other news, we finally have merch. You can check out the store, the link is in the description. And support the show by buying a t-shirt, or a hat, or a coffee mug, anything of your choice. And represent the Cinema Gold Show. And now on to our first main topic. Spider-Man No Way Home is back at number 1 on the weekend box office. After Scream ended its 4-week winning streak on top of the domestic weekend box office last week, Spider-Man No Way Home has once again swung to the top with 14.1 million ticket sales. As reported by Variety, Spider-Man No Way Home is still performing incredibly well after its 6 week in theaters and held off all other films released in North America, including newcomers Redeeming Love and The King's Daughter. Redeeming Love placed 4th with 3.7 million. The King's Daughter only made it to 8th place with 750,000. Spider-Man No Way Home has now crossed 1.69 billion globally, with 721 million of that coming from North America and 970 million coming from overseas. It now only sits behind Avatar, 760 million, Avengers Endgame, 858 million, and Star Wars The Force Awakens at 936 million as the 4th highest grossing domestic film of all time. Globally, it just surpassed The Lion King and Jurassic World to take the 6th spot, sitting behind Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Titanic, Avengers Endgame, and Avatar. Scream had a respectable 2nd place finish with 12.4 million in ticket sales, and the 5th film in the slasher franchise saw a 59% decrease in sales week over week. After 2 weeks in theaters, Scream has earned 51.3 million domestically, 33.6 million internationally, and 84.9 million globally. Sing 2 also continues to impress with another week at number 3, as it brought in 5.7 million in its 5th weekend. Sing 2 has earned 128 million domestically, 241 million globally, to become the highest grossing animated film at pandemic times. Rounding out the top 5 was The Kingsman in its 1.8 million weekend. It's grossed 31.5 million domestically and 105.3 million globally. Spider-Man No Way Home won't have much competition in the box office until Uncharted arrives, another Tom Holland starred film, and it arrives February 18th, and of course Robert Pattinson's The Batman opens on March 4th. Hey, before we continue, you got a tip for us? You want to discuss a potential story? Send an email to admin@cinema-gold.com. That's admin@cinema-gold.com. And your topic could be featured in our next episode. And now on to one of the biggest stories of the day so far. Batman had a 4-hour cut test screened by Warner Brothers. An early cut of the Batman was about 4 hours long and was even screened for testing. That's a whole lot of Batman that wound up on the cutting room floor. Perhaps we'll see that in deleted scenes. Possibly another cut of the film. Recently, it was reported that the Batman would be far from a short film with a runtime lasting nearly 3 hours. This makes the film one of the longest superhero tentpoles ever released and the longest Batman movie. As it turns out, an earlier cut of the film had an entire extra hour. According to The Hollywood Reporter, some test screenings of the Batman screened by the studio featured a 4-hour cut of the film. It's not uncommon these days to see superhero movies run so long. Fans can't seem to get enough content by the time the films are over, especially with the crossover films that keep putting more and more superheroes into one movie. But that's not the case with the Batman. It's launching its own franchise, unconnected to the DCEU, but it still seems director Matt Reeves wants to show as much as he could of Bruce Wayne's life as a rookie crime fighter facing the deadly serial killer known as the Riddler. Many fans had also expected the Batman to be R-rated based on how dark, violent, and gritty the trailers and sneak peeks had been. It has since been revealed that the movie will be PG-13, but it does seem that it will be pushing the rating to the limit. The first trailer still made it clear that Robert Pattinson's Batman, if looking to bring the pain, based on that one memorable moment where he introduces himself as Vengeance after pummeling a poor henchman into a pulp. And of course, the Batman will likely spawn a new movie series. Michael Keaton will be doing plenty in the DCEU with his Batman coming back in the flesh before another appearance of Batgirl. This does not mean there won't be continuous movies made in the unconnected world of the Batman. As producer Dylan Clark previously told Empire, quote, "As the first standalone Batman in 10 years, the hope is we can lay a foundation that you can build stories upon." He made a kind of a map for where Bruce's psychology would grow over 2 more movies, and Pattinson also teased the possibility of doing more movies, saying he would love to do it. The idea is to make the Batman 2 and perhaps even more movies if the film is a hit. There's already plans in motion for multiple spin-off shows to stream separately on HBO Max. One series will follow the officers of the Gotham City Police Department. Another spin-off will closely follow Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, after the supervillain first makes his debut in the Batman. Of course, the Batman is set to hit theaters on March 4th, 2022. The film is directed by Matt Reeves, and of course stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, Peter Sarsgaard, and Colin Farrell. And now for our review of Scream. Yes, we're a little late on the Scream review, but we managed to finally see it. And we can say, Ghostface is back, baby. And to be nice, this is a spoiler-free review. Reboots, sequels, requels, whatever you want to call them, they're all hard to execute well. Everyone wants something different. And if those desires aren't met, then sometimes things in fandom can get messy. Scream is here to maniacally cackle in the face of fan disdain for rehashes that dare attempt to reinvent their precious franchise. And maybe some folks will be a little bit mad at that, but it's hard to be angry when the material is just so damn good. The return to Woodsboro is a bloody one. If you're thinking, duh, this is a slasher, I get you, but understand that Scream takes the violence to the next level. It's not since Scream that Scream has been so vicious with its kills. Yeah, they addressed the title thing, it's actually pretty funny. Still, it doesn't make us look less silly while talking about it. Things get gnarly in 2022's entry into the franchise, and it's for the better. Every single one of the gruesome maimings and murders is well earned, and Ghostface is trickier than ever as he works his way through his victims. When Wes Craven died in 2015, some wondered if we'd ever see another Scream movie. Perhaps a not insignificant number of those folks thought we definitely shouldn't. But the DNA of his franchise is on full display here, and there was perhaps no better team to take over directing duties than Matt Bettinelli and Tyler Gillette of filmmaking collective Radio Silence. Their reverence for Scream clearly shows, but this new chapter also manages to be a completely unique addition. There was well-crafted expert-level dialogue for the entire cast, with one-liners from the Meeks Martin twins being particularly standouts. If you've seen any of the previous films, you should already know that Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox all kill their returns as Sidney, Dewey, and Gale. While the original 3 absolutely crushed the fresh material they're given, it's the new cast that does most of the heavy lifting here. While the concept of ushering in a new generation is often the point of these kinds of films, it's not always well executed. You don't have to worry about that with Scream, though. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are both incredibly believable as the Carpenter sisters, and you'll find yourself rooting for them no matter the amount of screen time they see. Mason Gooding is a fun addition as Chad Meeks Martin, but it really is a season of Jasmine Savoy Brown. Whether it's as one of the most compelling characters in Yellow Jackets, or as Mindy Meeks Martin in Scream, she's redefining the meaning of Scream Queen in every role she takes on. And what about Jack Quaid, you wonder? Of course, he was great. He's hilarious in this. Charming as ever. There's not a bad performance in the bunch, is what I'm saying. Being meta is hot right now, but there truly is no one out there doing it like the Scream franchise. You too, Deadpool. Scream goes harder into the meta commentary than its predecessors, but in a way that works every single time. As you may have gleaned from the first part of this review, the film takes off the gloves when it comes to mocking toxic fandom. It's here to roast anyone who's ever threatened a creator over art within an inch of their lives, and every single second of it is delicious. Is it ham-fisted at times? Maybe, but it still works like gangbusters. Elevator horror folks, don't think you're safe from a poke or two either. This reboot continues the Scream trend of punching above its weights, punching up at anything that could benefit from being a little bit more humble. Perhaps the most successful and certainly the most impressive aspect of this new entry is that it leaves you excited for a future that may not even require Sidney Prescott's involvement. No one wants to see any of the big three go, and you won't find their fates revealed in this review. But Scream accomplishes the dang near impossible task of laying the groundwork for a future that may be completely removed from its original key players in a way that audiences can be excited for. Every single explanation that justifies these statements is a spoiler, so you'll just have to trust me until you can see Scream for yourself. So, what am I saying? Well, to sum it all up, the latest addition to the Scream franchise expertly blends reverence for the source material while creating something that feels almost completely new. All the performances are pitch perfect as the new generation of Woodsboro teens step into their futures. The kills are gnarly and no version of toxic fandom is left unmocked. If you've seen the movie yet, let us know in the comment section below. What do you think was the best part of the movie? Do you want to see more of this new take on Scream? And now, on to Pondex Film Buff. So today we're going in the Film Buff deck. Where did it go? You can find the Film Buff deck on the Pondex app, which you can download on Android and Apple devices. What is the best Pixar movie? That's tough. I'm gonna go with Toy Story, the first one. That's really the only Pixar movie I can watch repeatedly. Like, I don't know, for some reason I can't watch animated movies anymore, but I can go back and watch like Toy Story today and then come back to it another month or two and watch it again and still enjoy it. Can't really do that with like The Incredibles or what's another one? The other Pixar movies I can't really go back and watch again or even watch them at all. But let us know, what do you consider the best Pixar movie? Let us know in the comment section below. Hey, my pick might not be the best, but it's my take. Let us know your take. As always, give us a thumbs up on this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you can be notified of future videos. And if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment right here, bring in new writers, new hosts, and be able to hold exciting new giveaways, and even hopefully take this show on the road one day. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, check out the one right here, and you can check out one right over here. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here.